Okay, so looking at Chapter 2 review, we are going to complete this on our own and then check it as a group. There is no grade for this. It's your actual chapter review. We're going to start with numbers 1 through 5. I want you guys to go ahead and put your answers down. And then if you get them wrong, mark them wrong, put the answer out to the side, but just do your best. One thing that you could look at in advance of this section is the properties, the adding and subtracting properties. Now, I told you guys when we went over this that I did not expect you to be able to name those properties. However, you do need to know what they are, right? What they mean mathematically. So if you need to review your notes there, you can. That's what they're there for. And so everybody, I want you working on number 5, and then we will review it together. All right, so for number 1, we had 493, and then we had to take away something. We still had 493, so we said that we took away 0. Works the same for adding. If I have a number and I add nothing, I still have my number. For number 2, first thing you need to notice here, guys, is that we have an equal sign. This tells me that whatever is on the left will add up or be the same as whatever is on the right. When I look at these numbers, there are a couple of things that I can look at. These are a little simpler because a lot of the numbers are going to match. So we'll be able to just kind of take a look at them and just cancel some out. If I look over here, I have 12 plus 32 grouped, right? Plus 18. Now, we said that it does not matter what order we add in. So when I look at the other side of the equal sign, I notice that there is a 12 here too. So on the left I had 12. On the right I had 12. Everybody good? Then we're adding something to the 18. So I notice that here in my parentheses I am grouping differently. But again, it doesn't matter what order I add in, right? Going to get the same answer. I'm adding something to 18. So I have an 18 on the right, and I also have an 18 on the left. Now, a process of elimination is going to tell me that the only number on the left that I did not check off was the 32. So in order to keep this balanced, I need to add a 32 to the right-hand side. Now, these are simpler because they have the same numbers, right? Again, it does not matter what order you add in. You're going to get the same answer on both sides of that equal sign. Any questions about that one? Thumbs up if that makes sense. Everybody with me? Okay. Even if the numbers were different, even if the numbers didn't match on both sides, each side, left and right, have to add up or get the same total. So you just would need to adjust it on each side to make it add up. When we look at number 3, we want to think about that same principle, right? I have 73 plus 89. And then, let me circle this equal sign. That means whatever 73 plus 89 is, I should have that total here on the right as well. Now for this one, I've got a 73 and a 73. That tells me, again, that the only number missing on the right that is already on the left is that 89. Any questions or comments about that one? Yes, ma'am. You got what?
Oh, I get by myself.
Okay. Everybody else good? We good? Okay. All right. Let's take a look at number 4. Now, if you look back at number 1, okay, there's a clue for you about number 4. That 0 property. If I have a number like 29 and 62 hundredths, and I add nothing to it, what do I still have? Sassafras. 29.62, right? 29.62. 29 and 62 hundredths. All right. So yeah, when you add nothing, you are going to keep that same answer. Everybody good? Titus, you good? Okay. All right. Now that leaves us with number 5. Now remember we talked about algebra. Anybody remember what we call the letters that we add into an equation? It started with a V as in Victor. There is a name when we throw in letters to our equations. These are representing unknown numbers. What do we call them? Yes, ma'am. Yes, you. Close. She said vertices. That's very close. Good, very good guess. What? Okay, sassafras. Did you have your hand up? What was the word you said, Zoe? You were very close. Variables is correct. Variables is correct. All right. So, however, you have 3 different variables here. But it doesn't matter. Don't let letters trip you up. We're going to do the exact same thing that we did on 2 and 3. Because whatever is on the left, according to this equal sign, has to be the same as what's on the right. So on the left, I can see that I have an A. On the right, I have an A. On the left, I have a B. On the right, I have a B. And that leaves the C on the left that is missing from the right. Any questions so far? All right. Take a look at the next section, 6 through 9. Okay. Knock that one out, and let's pick back up in about 5 minutes with your answers. Again, these should look familiar to you. Okay. They should really mimic what's up here in 1 through 5. All right. So take a look at those and get them done. All right, let's take a look at 6 through 9. So again, we're using the same principles that we just talked about, okay? Again, I don't expect you to remember, oh, that's the associative property, that's the commutative property, but you need to recognize the pattern that we have here in these math problems, okay? They need to be something that when you see it, you're like, oh yeah, if I do this, it must be 0. For instance, number 6, if I have a number and I add nothing to it, it equals 2.478. What did I have in the first place? 2.478. So look at it, and does it make sense? I have 2 and 478 thousandths plus nothing is still 2 and 478 thousandths. Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. Looking for you, Sassy Fressy. Thank you.
Oh yes, it's
Snyder Spider, you girl, stop it. All right, now number 7. If we're looking at number 7 again, I have an equation with 2 sides. Just like number 6, balances on both sides, right? This one needs to as well. So I can do a couple of things here. For this one, again, these are kind of simple. I can just eliminate numbers, right? Or I could add all these up, and then I could add these 2 up and figure out how much more I need for them to be the same. It doesn't matter which one you do. But for this one, I've got 475 on the left, 475 on the right. I see 350 on the left, 350 on the right, and that left me over here on the left. I still have 225, so I will plug that in here. So if I have the same 3 numbers on each side, again, it does not matter what order I add in. It does not matter how I group them, right? It doesn't matter what's in the parentheses. They are the equal on the left and on the right. Okay, we'll continue that pattern with number 8. Again, over here, here's my equal sign. So whatever these add up to, this number and this number have to add up to. So these are the simple though. So this is 9,810 on the left, 9,810 on the right, 11,900 on the left, and I'll be adding 11,900 on the right. So now are they balanced? Are they equal? Yes, they sure are. So that is done. That leaves me with number 9. If I have 12,300 and I take away nothing, I still have what, Zoe? 12,311. Good. Any questions about these? Again, if you are struggling with those, you are letting them get to you. They look complicated, but they're really not. Once we look at them, are they really that hard?
No.
Eden, you okay? I know we're all on less sleep than we had before we went, right? I don't know about y'all, but I stayed up late and slept in every day, so we are all paying the price now. All right, what I want you guys to do is we'll do the next 4. However, I want to point out to you that when we have these numbers like with the decimals, it's not as important with the adding, but you need to have a habit of adding a 0 in anywhere on a decimal problem that it isn't. Now, what this will do is help you stay in a row when you're adding them, because you don't want to get that out of order. And then on the subtraction, you have to add in zeros. Like here, if I have 0 and I take away 6, I can't do that. I'm going to have to borrow, okay? So I need you to add those as well for that subtracting. So that's number 19 and 15. Anytime you see a decimal problem, you're adding or subtracting, add the zeros in that are not there. And down on 24, we're going to add a 0. Even though it's adding, just go ahead and do it for me. You'll thank me later, okay? All right, so you are going to do 10 through 13. Whoops. Okay? And I want you to go ahead and solve those. I will also solve them, and then I'll show you what I got, and we'll compare. Any questions? Everybody understands what to do, right? All right, go ahead and get those totaled. All right, so let's take a look at 10 through 13. So let me read these out just in case you're having trouble reading them. Number 10 is 80.254, 80 and 254 thousandths. If you do not have a decimal on your answer, it is wrong. I will count it wrong, okay? I may also start, this is a comma, it looks kind of weird, doesn't it? I may also start counting off if you don't put the commas in. That's a big deal. You know what I'd noticed on your last couple of assignments that I've graded, though, is that you guys are missing out on number signs. And so I took off 1 point for each time you did that. It changes your answer if it is money versus if it is just a decimal. So those kind of details matter. Number 11 was 40,178. Number 12 is 1,228,350. And number 13 is 5,477. Does anyone have an answer different than me? First of all, hey, I answered these just like you do, so we need to check my answers too. If anybody has a different answer, or if your answer is different than mine and you don't know why, right? For some of you, you may say, oh, it's different, but I can see what I did wrong, or I can't see it. Let's check your answer, okay? Everybody good? 10 through 13? Perfect.
No.
What's wrong? Oh, I didn't see your hand, Ashton. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, does that say 30.254?
It says 80.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, that's why I was reading them, just in case. Yeah, this little smudge, oh, it was a hole. It popped a hole in it, sorry. Yeah, so that made the 8 look a little weird. I went through the page there. All right, everybody else good? All right, I want you to go ahead and try 14 through 17. 14 through 17, let's work on those and come back and regroup. Okay, let's take a look at 14 through 17. Now, we had a comment that we lost track of our counting. When you are looking at adding numbers, and there's like 3 of them, 4 of them, 5 of them. One of the things that you can do is if I'm taking a look at number 14 here in the ones place, my mind automatically tries to make a 10. Okay? So Isaac, you with me? So I'm going to look at 8, 9, and 2, and I'm going to say, okay, 8 and 2 make 10, plus 9 is 19, carry your 1. Okay? So look at those numbers and group them together in a way that is most easy. It does not matter what order you add in. If I'm looking at 5, 6, and 7, I mean, that could go many ways, right? 7 and 6 is 13, plus 5 is 18, but I had a 1 that I carried, right? So that gives me 19. So when I look at 1, 7, and 2 here in the hundreds place, that's 8, plus 2 is 10. All right, so look at those numbers and try to make them work for you so that you're not sitting there laboring away adding those numbers in order in time. All right, so let me read these out to you in case they're hard to read. Number 14 is 3,099. Number 15 is 14.47. 16, I got 83,130. And for 17, I got 18,286. Any questions? Did anybody get a different answer on any of these? Sassafras.
Number 16, I got 93,130.
93,130. Okay, so let's take a look. So that tells me we have some kind of difference here in the 10,000ths place. So I'm just going to move one over.
Oh, I see what I did.
Did you find it already?
Yeah.
Okay.
I carried a 3, not a 2.
Carried a 3, not a 2. Good. Anybody else? Titus is next. After Eden. Yeah, Mr. Lozano. 186. So here in the ones place. All right, so let me take a look at the tens place real quick. All right, so I carried that 1. That was 9 plus 9 is 18. So now I have in my hundreds place 3 plus 4 is 7 plus 5 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, I think it's a 2, bud. Did you got a 1?
Yeah.
Did you add the 1 that you carried?
Okay.
Do you have one? Do you have a carried number in that place?
Yeah.
Okay, then you may not have added it. Okay. Anybody else have something different and you're not sure? So watch your details, okay? Again, on your test when you have more time, I asked you guys not to check unless you were waiting, right? But I know on your test that you'll be checking all of those answers before you turn them in. All right, good. Bounce on down to 18 through 21, okay? And then we'll come back and check your answers. All right, y'all take a look at 18 through 21.
Let me do what the sign says.
Sassafras.
I already picked his signs and now I'm failing.
All right, here we go. Number 18. 14.45. 19, 14.584. Number 20, 140,513.
That's a 4?
Uh-huh. And 21 is 40,369. Does anybody have something different or a question? Which one?
This one.
Number 19? 14.584.
Yeah. 14584.
Yeah. All right, everybody good? No questions on that? Thank you for stopping that, Sassafras. All right, now for the last ones, I know that we have skipped the estimating a lot, but this is what I want you to do. And I want to look at 22 with you. We have talked about the estimating. We have skipped it almost every time. Okay? But what I want you to do is just round to the biggest number, the largest number. So, like if I'm looking at 57,000, I'm looking at the 10,000s place. The 5 has a 7 next to it, so that's going to be 60,000, right? Same thing with the next number. You've got a 6 in the 10,000s place with the 1 next to it, so it's going to stay a 6. Everything else is zeros, and when we add that, we get 120,000. Is everybody with me? And then, of course, you will solve the problem. So again, just round to the biggest number, right? The digit with the greatest value. Round up that last number on the left, and go from there. All right, go ahead and solve for 22 through 24, and then we will check your answers. Yeah.
I see little white dots in their eyes, but you can't see them. I like the shadow.
Like after you closed your eyes?
Yes. No. Look. Open and close.
Did you look at something really bright?
No. And my head is starting to hurt.
Okay, why don't you keep your eyes closed for a little bit and let them rest. It's almost time to go home anyway, so I'm not sure what else.
I mean, I walked over here and maybe kind of looked at that right there.
Yeah, I mean, if you looked into the projector, that would definitely not be good. All right, 22, 23, and 24. All right, let's take a look at 22, 23, 24. So again, if you're estimating these, and I'm looking at 6,584, I'm going to round that to 7,000. All right. I'm sorry. My answer for number 22 is 119,233. Does anyone have something different? We're all good there? Okay. For number 23, again, that's 6,584. Because of that 5, I rounded the 6 to a 7. All zeros after. The 979, because I'm taking that 9 and making it a 10, that rounds you up to 1,000. Right? So you made it a 10, replace the 7 and the 9 with 0, 0, 0. Subtract those. My answer for 23 is 5,605. Anybody have something different for that one? We all agree? Okay. And then for number 24, 7.8, I rounded that up to an 8. The 5.06, because of that 0, I went ahead and rounded it just to a 5 and added those for a 13. My answer for number 24 was 12.86 or 12 and 86 hundredths. Any questions about any of those guys? How are we doing?
Main Street.
Main Street, you said. Interesting. Okie dokie smoky.
It means up here.
All right. On the...
Up your nose.
Now listen. What we have coming up is page 38. So what we'll do is finish that up tomorrow. Okay? Hey, listen. Chapter 2 test on Wednesday. Are y'all with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Chapter 2 test on Wednesday. All right. Go ahead.